Thank you for joining me. The world is weird. Yeah, the world is a strange place. And it's been getting stranger and stranger. Good. The divine knows what it's doing. As the world seems to tear itself apart, as culture, politics, the economy, as the social landscape of society falls apart, as it all twists itself into parades of what look like circus performers. As this all happens, we, the living souls, are actually given many opportunities to disconnect from the noise out here and connect with the wisdom inside. What has been hiding in the unconsciousness of ourselves can no longer remain there. It must come to consciousness. And one of the main catalysts for this shift from unconsciousness to consciousness is the societal upheaval. When we see the unconsciousness thriving around us, when we see ignorance and disorientation increasing in this world, we are inspired to face the unconsciousness in ourselves. In this process of divine reclamation, the world operates as a giant demonstration to example what creation comes up with when its participants are steeped in limited awareness. We are shown the opposite conduct required to unlock divine intelligence. So we can make this mess of an age act as a message for us to take a look at ourselves. The mirror of reality displays to us what is within, so we may finally see it and then clear ourselves of the energies or tendencies that lead to, bruises of the soul. The more strange and twisted this place gets, the more we're able to recognize the faulty or incomplete pieces of ourselves that must be transmuted. So yes, it may seem scary and intimidating, but only if we are giving this world and its strangeness more authority over us than our own hearts. So I don't say things are bad, I say things are perfect. I trust in the direction of this experience, and thus in the revelations which can be derived from the suffering. This is like a hospital, or we at least can treat this experience as a spiritual hospital visit. Obviously, all of us have felt as if we're not in the quality of consciousness which is optimum. That inner voice tells us to refine ourselves. It's all about the quality of our consciousness, the state of being we inhabit is crucial, because we don't live in the world. We first and foremost live in our consciousness. So it is the quality of that consciousness which shall always determine how we perceive everything around us, how we perceive what's happening macrocosmically and microcosmically. This is why, as within, so without. But what separates us from the beautiful space of heart connection and playfulness and joy and peace, what separates us from that state of consciousness is the attachment to behaviors and ways of being that lead to a feeling of more incompleteness, more toxicity, less clarity. We must not see this divine great work as something which purely exists in the mental sphere. It might seem like I simply philosophize, but I philosophize to actualize. What prevents us from connecting with that heart space? Behaviors, actions, attitudes, how we interact with our bodies, how we interact with food, how we interact with our mental landscape, how we interact with others. Every single energetic input is a message to the universe, which is the you-niverse. So every input results in a certain state of consciousness, a certain quality. And it is up to us to consistently take into account if the quality we're in tastes like the most authentic version of ourselves or not. Or maybe we should say, we need to verify if what we're doing in our lives is creating a sense of evolution and soul triumph rather than a feeling of confusion or spiritual blindness. When we walk this path, it may seem as if we're walking a purely mystical one. But really, in order to be granted mystical or spiritual or transcendent experiences or intuitions, it doesn't require a push towards the mystical. It takes focusing on the practical. We can theorize all we want, we can come up with many ideas, we can wonder about this or that topic in relation to the soul and all of its machinations, but you know what? Unless we practically are taking the daily steps to arrive at a more liberated state, then we'll just be psyching ourselves out. Come on, let us not theorize, let us actualize. This means we can attach to all of the beliefs we want, we can attach to all of the dogmas, we can speak all of the correct words that are deemed spiritual, but if we're not consistently refining the quality of being, then we ain't doing much but playing foolish games. We may try to suffocate our inner voice we may try to exchange that voice for something out here. Maybe that's fear. But eventually, I think all living souls come to the realization that there's no one else driving this experience but I alone. And that does not mean that I alone have authority over every single thing I ever come into contact with. Rather, it is a knowingness that the creation and creator are intertwined, that what we become conscious of that previously was hidden manifests to all of creation a beauty and a potency which leads to freedom, which leads to liberation. It's all about the quality of our consciousness. So let us choose consciousness over concern. Let us consistently choose to refine ourselves. If something feels a bit off, I know we may feel tempted to use the container of the outer world to cast our shadows into. We can point the finger, oh, look at that bad guy, look at that agenda. But why don't we up the maturity level a bit, all whilst upping the level of that inner child which wants us to dance and shake and not freak out about things which aren't even in the quality of consciousness that we wish to inhabit ourselves. So you know what? If this world has a bozo-like quality to it, if we are truly in a circus, then let it be a circus and be a spectator. Take care. Keep up the great work.
I've seen the eyes, I've seen the waters glisten, fainterish and listen, reunify the Christ, the eye, the vision, outside of division. I've seen the circle cutting open. I've trained in mind, I've made up my decision. Now come to me, collision. We locked ourselves in the underworld, a deal so sealed cause an honor hurt. I never meant to ignore her shine, so I promised to make it right. An honor left for the underworld, so I'm releasing her neck and burn. You got the leak of what I'm speaking out, I'm freaking out. You got the leak of what I'm speaking out, I'm freaking out. Time to break away, baby. Whatever you brought, ain't for me to go. We feel the burden and it's insane. Whatever you drop, yeah, give it to me, go. The taste of the sweet and soft lips. I've been hearing your cries, so I shake those hips. Those lies make me feel alive, cause I'm dancing with the goddess, dancing with the goddess. I've seen the lies, I've seen the fires within. Not an apparition. She's by my side and her style is so bitchin'. Outside of division, I've seen the circle cutting open. I've trained your mind, I've made up my decision. Now come to me, collision. We locked ourselves in the underworld, a deal so sealed cause an honor hurt. I never meant to ignore her shine, so I promised to make it right. An honor left for the underworld, so I'm releasing her neck and burn. You got the leak of what I'm speaking out, I'm freaking out. You got the leak of what I'm speaking out, I'm freaking out. Time to break away, baby. Whatever you brought, ain't for me to yeah.